Hello, we're back again. Let's open up my drink. So I have a hard stop today. A hard stop just before 5 my time. Gives me an hour and 20 minutes. Because I gotta hop back on for something work related. But I'm trying to stream at a steady time, so here we are. Let's do a build, hop in, and I mean, it's gonna be more ritual work. Ugh, 1.20.5 is now available. Ooh, maybe I'll get it. I don't know. Maybe I'll get it this stream. Probably not. Man, I still gotta clean over there. I got some bowls stacking, neatly stacked, but hope everyone's having a good day. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. My candle corner. The candle corner. So I decided to also change the rustic compound texture. I threw in the same colors here because it's made of rusty dust and shifting fibers. I tried to give it more of an offset color, which is also what I base the candle on as well. The old magic candle. I'm not sure if I'm going to have it the wick stay red, or if I'm gonna do like a blue or purple kind of flame. Maybe I could do like a magenta. Maybe make it like a magenta flame. But that's semantics, right? Like that doesn't really change what it does. So, I started peppering in candles here and there for some stuff. I think what I'm going to do is things like this. The enchanted stone for the ritual of Orbringer. This guy right here. We are going to... There we go. We'll put that down. I'm going to get rid of the block for that, and it's just going to take the torches. I think the Ritual of Orbringer is going to be more of a spell-based ritual. So that's going to take the, you know, the candles. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make sense to have it take the enchanted stone. It just doesn't make sense to me to do that. But this actually would make sense to have the candles. Hey Oder, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. You know, same thing with this ritual as well. I like the idea of putting in the candles. I gotta be careful. Candles don't need to be in everything. For instance, here, there should be no candles. No candles for this ritual, and no candles for this one either. Right? So, Ritual of World Essence. Let's see. Sigil. Let's pop out the World Essence. Good, you? I'm doing good. I'm gonna have to, I have a hard stop for my streaming. I'm gonna have to hop back on for work to do some BGP work, but that's not till 5. It's gonna be right around my normal time that I should be getting off, that I keep pushing back. Today I really have to get off. Hey Zet, how's it going? So I'm wondering if the Ritual of the Rust, should I be shattering? I like the idea of shattering crystals to make the ritual. But I feel like the Ritual of the Rust could use some kind of strategic placing of a mage candle. Maybe. Let's play with it a little bit. What if it was like that? Maybe. We'll think about it. Hey, Asterbrook, how's it going? Just noticed in the inventory, 2 items kind of look funny. What items? What items look funny? Are you talking about in your playthrough or on my screen? Quick, gotta get rid of all my items. Quick. Pyrolysis. All right, let's put down the pyrolysis. There we go. Start shifting these away here. I'm wondering if... do I need these extra runes anymore? Would it be better like that? I'm thinking it may be better like that. On your gameplay, oh, what are the items? Under SIG? Are you talking about the work in progress ones? Yeah, they're they're not going to be in yet. There is no sigil of containment yet, or sigil of recall, the sigil of grace. Yeah, those are not in yet. So yeah, those are going to be question mark. Were you talking about something else? Yeah, 2 behind it. What, those? Yeah, the Sigil of Awakening and the Sigil of Transcendence. Are those the ones you're talking about? Other way. What, those? Sigil of Summoning? Is that the one we're looking at? The Buddha symbol? Oh, is it shaped like it? Yeah, it's a spiral. See? Oh my god, it's faster. See? It's a spiral. That's going to be coming in with the summoning ritual. All right, where was I? Right now we're trying to pepper in candles, mage candles. I like the idea of having mage candles in the Ritual of the Rust, but at the same time, I don't know. A lot of people see something along the lines of a swastika and immediately jump to evil, not knowing it's a corrupted Buddhist icon. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, that's what you're talking about? Oh, come on, Zet. Let's grow up a little bit. I think we're a little past some things here. I can put a spiral in if I want. Like that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Jeez, we just gonna be like that guy being like, "Oh, you can't have a Wendigo." What all the people who are gonna hate that Wendigo? It's knocking on faith. Take that somewhere else. All right, so I'm not sure where I want these mage candles. Like, it makes sense with these. I like the fact that you can make a ring out of the mage candles. I like that. I like that for the more complex AoE spells that we're going to be putting in. But not sure. Not sure where these should go. Like, it makes sense. Ritual of Warbringer is like the only thing in the row here that I feel strongly about. I just don't know. I don't know if they're needed here. Like, it looks like it would be a nice fit to have them in the corner, But at that point, I'm just adding an extra cost to this ritual. And it's a pretty big cost, right? Because it's going to take 4 of these candles to do it. Unless maybe I put 2 candles there and then get rid of these. Nah, I don't like that either. No, not 1 candle there. There's not really a good place to put candles here. You know, I guess maybe this one doesn't need candles. Yeah, maybe. But I feel like something should be there. Right? Like I feel like something should be here. All right, let me think about what this is going to do here. Right? So, I mean, it's a ritual that is going to turn blocks, turn firewood into fuel sources. But 4 is super steep for it. That one's all about fire. Of course, it needs candles. Quick aside with the will the rituals eat candles? Yes, they will. The rituals will eat your candles. Now, the candles, you make batches of them. Like, I think for a couple ingredients, it's going to be like 8 candles that you get. See, for stuff like this... Oh my god. I gotta stay semi far away. There we go. So for the ritual of corruption and the ritual of purification, candles are going to be a big part of those. Because it's not really a ritual based on a sigil, right? So that's going to be how you convert this. And then it depends on the time of day. Come on, can I get it? Yeah, there we go. So that's going to take candles. Maybe this as well. Ah, man, everything in my being tells me like symmetry. I don't know about that one. That one may be X'd out. But definitely for this one. I do like the look of the candle though. Just a little candle, and you can hang them too, right? You can put them on walls and stuff. I like it. Make your tower feel just a little more magic-esque. And I'm not sure about that wick. I'm not sure what the color's going to be on it. I keep looking at it and I'm like, it's technically it's a candle, so I mean, fire would make sense. While we then would not cheat, as in replace them. That would not, you mean that would not be cheap, Zet? First stream I caught in a while. How many are in a batch? I currently have 8 in a batch. So you make these in batches of 8. And they stack up to 64. See, I think there are ways here in which I can... I don't know. This is going to be the dance, right? This is the dance. How do I make it to where you use the candles in some rituals to do certain things. Like I was thinking the candles were going to be more for spell-based rituals, not necessarily like the ritual of world essence, right? The ritual of, well, I guess I can't say that. I can't say that because I have it to where I want you to use candles in the ritual of purification and the ritual of corruption. I'm trying to find the identity for these candles. That's what I'm trying to find right now. We'll get there. I just don't think we're there yet. I may need to. I mean, I did just make them today on my lunch break, though. 2 rituals per combine if they take 4. 2 rituals per combine. Combine? So right now, that right there is our, that's what it's gonna take to make a stack of 8. Now this is what I threw in. So I have a registered recipe. Does not require beeswax. Yeah, so it doesn't require beeswax. It's gonna be a lump of fat, rustic compounds, shifting fibers, and a knife. So that's what it's gonna take to make these. All right. And I'm not married to the number 8 either. Rituals per combine. Yo, I arrived sooner this time. Great, because I can't stream too late. Mage candles are so sick. Yeah, well, we got to find a place for them right now. We got to find a place for them. And it's out there. The place is we'll find it. We'll find it. Haven't found it yet, but we'll find it. I guess I just need to think about how I'm separating out my rituals. Right? So for the basic rituals here, the creation, destruction, and balance rituals, they're not going to take any candles. These are just like the cheapy cheap, you know, you are just converting items, breaking down items, that kind of thing, making new items. Right? So that's all those are. And then I guess you technically have 4 rituals that make foundational items for the mod. You have your ritual of world essence, right? The ritual of runic power, and all the phases of that, right? And then you have the creation ritual, or the purification ritual, and the corruption ritual, right? And those are the things that make core items in the game. Like the must-have items. I don't think candles should be in those. Yeah, I don't think the candles should be in those. I think the candles should be potentially peppered into everything else, like the rich sigil of the rust, right? The ritual of the rust. This should probably have some candles in it, right? Because I have to think in the future, right? You are growing crops at a very accelerated rate, because now I change your rift weather to low, which means that this does not stay out for 30 seconds anymore and disappears. Your rifts stay out for quite a while. So you could, I think with the weather low, and I may have got lucky, but I was able to grow crops start to finish within a 24-hour period with just one open portal. You know, and it was everything within that range had accelerated growth. Like it grew twice as fast. It took 2 days instead of the 4. It was 1 day for one whole cycle. So how's stuff going? Stuff is going. Just trying to figure all this stuff out. That's not too bad. Was thinking of making the fuel ritual too expensive, would lead me to just use a charcoal pit. Yeah. Well, and the other part of this too, Hexalan, is that you now before it used to be iterative, right? So like to do the tier 2 version of this, you would need 16 charcoal, right? And then you'd have the pyrolysis 2 sigil. You would have to use, you know, your dark mana torches. That's not the case anymore. Now, the new system here, it's one sigil fits all, right? So there's a sigil of pyrolysis. And now there's the Eldrathium form, which never gets consumed, right? But you'll have this. You will place down your runes and or blocks, right? So let's say this is what the ritual is going to look like in its final form, right? So you place everything down, and then you put your fuel source around. And if I'm a tier 2 mage, at this point, I could just put in the dark mana torches around. And then it will turn this, instead of into charcoal, it turns it directly into black coal, right? If I'm a tier 3 mage and I have the same setup and I use the dark mana lanterns instead, then I can go right from firewood to anthracite, right? So it got better. It definitely got better. I think you probably should, since it's an instant transformation of material, having the mage candles in the corners, I think that's not a bad trade. Did you reduce the compound cost like you were talking about? Or do you think the community will complain about the number of compounds needed? You know what, Asterbrook? I think I have to step past the community, at least the vocal community. I still have people talking about how, you know, how the elementals are too much, and you know, they're gonna have to play with what I want. Is what it's gonna come down to. You know, like I can try and make some things, like make some concessions, but you know, you know, for Magic to be cool, it's got to be more than just 2 components, right? And I'll listen to feedback, right? That's what I'm asking these questions for. But you know, if they're upset, like I nerfed the cost of the amount of rot that you needed per compound, right? So if someone thinks that 2 compounds, a lump of fat, and some shifting fibers, in which case I have increased the drop rate of rusty dust and shifting fibers as well as you get higher up in your magehood, right? I think it's a great cost. Like I don't think it's that bad at all, considering I get 8 candles. And not everything's gonna be all like 4 candles per. Like these 2, probably yes. This one, I'm thinking maybe 3, 2, or maybe just 1 for like the Ritual of the Rust. You know, I may be able to do something else too. Maybe, and I don't know how to really relay this, I guess is a good way to put it, but it would be nice to maybe have candles do something, but I guess I would be thinking more of a fuel source where it would magnify the output. But I don't think that's really something, like I can't easily show you through a highlight system, right? Because the highlight system is going to be all or nothing. Got reminded, movie sense. That's not my knife. Yeah. That's not a knife, that's a knife, right? I think Magic Candle or Magical Candle would be a better fit instead of Mage Candle, in my opinion. I kicked the can around there. I don't like Magical, and I don't like Magic. We'll see, because like I said, I made it today. We will see. I did not like Magic Candle. I did not like it. Mainly because when you think of Magic Candle, I didn't want to necessarily have a blue flame, a blue wick. Asterbrook already coming in with a, hey, what colors can it be? It's a candle, you know? It's a candle, right? How bright is it? It's candle brightness. The base game candle brightness. That's what it is. There are not going to be any special tiers for this, right? There's not going to be, you know, like my old pattern of like stepping through. There's a tier 1 version, tier 2 version, tier 3. Nope. It's just gonna be a magic candle. Maybe I'll make one, and this one in the back end, the code, I have ritual embedded in it. If I want to come over here, right? When I get this system off the ground, maybe I make a Soulwell and Moonwell type candles, right? Something like that. I can just, you know, encode it a little differently, and I can produce other types of candles, but I don't want to tie it into like a light essence candle and a neutral essence candle, right? It should just be the mage candle, right? This is the first thing I'm doing for everyone, making it nice and simple. Or at least I'm trying to. Okay, I'm still trying to get to tier 2, so struggle with the value in some aspects. Later tiers, I do see the benefit. Yeah. You're talking about potentially dropping the tiers of compounds in a tiered version. Are you keeping the 3 tiers of compounds? That is to be explored still. I have been kicking around, and I think what I'm gonna do is I was looking into making a post in the Discord. I have a whole idea for restructuring the mod, so it's a little easier. Actually, I could go over it. We got people talking, we got people here. Maybe this is a good soundboard to explain the new tier 1, 2, and 3 and how the systems that are in the game right now would fit into that. We could go over that. Ritual candle. Yeah, well, I tried. I was gonna put in ritual candle, but it's one of those things, Crickerlope, where I'm like, if I say ritual candle specifically, then it'll confuse people if I change the name. Like, what if this ends up being something that you use for not just rituals, right? Like, what if this candle is something that I tie into the Spellforge system, right? What if I have it to where if you have so many of these candles around, maybe in certain places or whatever, just like the figurines, maybe it increases your chance of a certain spell type depending on a certain configuration. You know what I mean? Like, what if this needs to see 2 to 3 candles within a certain radius of it, right, to empower it, and maybe it makes it charge a little faster. You know what I mean? Like, if having a ritual candle there, people are gonna lock it into only a ritual. So I've tried to come up with a name that, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, is magic candle that bad? You know, like, should it be a magic candle? Magic ritual candle, ritual magic candle, right? You know, like, should magic be in there? Yeah, ritual candle. You want to have red candles and funky music. I could do that. Yeah, that is a kind of, it's a Horus statue. That's what that is. That's what that is. Oh, so can enhance other systems? That's really cool. Well, that's the thing, right? As long as I don't brand it a certain way, this candle could enhance other systems. Like, I don't want to mark that out, but by defining it as specifically a ritual candle, right, by name, right? Because there are 2 names, right? There's a registry name, and then there's the name that, you know, everyone sees. Like, on the back end, I have it tagged as ritual candle, right? And maybe it always stays a ritual candle, and I don't make any other types, and it's a 1 candle that does everything. But I don't know. It's still, I gotta involve it. I gotta weave it into the ritual system first to then see where it makes sense. Because I mean, Magic, there's a lot of things in Magic. You know, there's a lot of systems, right? Like I still have to make use of all the crystals. Right? So I'm thinking between the crystals and the candles, it's gonna feel more Magic, right? The mod's gonna feel more like a Magic mod, one step closer, right? Because how can you have a Magic mod without some kind of Magic type candle, right? Like, how could you do that? Actually, the first prototype for this, I don't know if anyone has watched Hocus Pocus, but I was gonna do the black flame candle, so the wick was gonna be like jet black, and it was gonna have like black particles, kind of like jet black particles for the smoke coming out of it. And then I thought to myself, no, let's make it a regular candle, and then maybe that could be, you know, the special candle that you get from you know, like doing something like with this system, you know. Lore-wise, you can discover candles for ritual purposes. As you progress, you can discover new uses for ritual candles, even if they originate from there exclusively. Yeah, that's true. But people don't read my guidebook. I had someone that left a message asking, you know, like how do they progress? You know, they you know, it's the guidebook, the achievement that they were on said that they had to make the Thaumic workbench, but they didn't have the trait for it. And then before I was gonna answer them, suddenly that comment disappeared. Right? So I get a lot of things. I can't assume everyone's gonna be reading the guidebook. Right, but I can get ahead of something by, instead of calling it a ritual candle, I mean, mage candle, magic candle, right? Something that's a little more ambiguous, something that lets you know, hey, this has a specific function. Primarily right now, the function's gonna be rituals. Yes, black flame, the black flame candle. And every mage is gonna be able to light it, right? Because isn't that the thing? Like, only a virgin can light the candle, right? It's a zinger to everyone. They don't even know it. So yeah, so that's what we're trying to do here. That's what we're trying to do. I think having 4 candles be a cost for this ritual, I think that's still a pretty sweet deal, right? Getting like what, 8 to 10 charcoal, I think is what the RNG is for this. Instantly by destroying a stack of firewood, I think that's worth the rustic mana torches, right? The easy to get mana torches. Plus some candles that you get, you know, I mean, the lump of fat may be the hardest thing to track down, but, you know, it's not that bad, I don't think, right, to track down. It's not that bad to get. I don't know, opinions, right? Is having 1 lump of fat for 8 candles, is that gonna be too much? You know, four for this feels pretty good, considering I'm literally pulling like copper ore out of the ground and bringing it to the surface, right? You know, like whatever the ore is that's down there, it's pulling it up. Sacrifice candles. Then you need a dagger and an altar with blood grooves and a blood bowl and blood runes, and wait, should I be giving reasons not to add magic? Yeah, right. All that stuff is going to be kind of tied into soul magic. I'm not going to have a lot of blood and gore in soul magic. It's going to be more like ghosty, soul-esque kind of. But that's, yeah, there'll probably be an item use, like it may be like a sacrificial dagger or something that you end up using to harvest souls. I've been kicking that can around too, but this needs to get done first, right? Rituals need a polishing. Also, goats, fancy outfit. I don't think so. Fat is fairly easy to obtain. Okay, so I don't think that's bad then. I don't think that's too bad. Willing to sacrifice a moose, which killed me tons of times. Magnus the moose. What about this? This is Ritual of the Rust. How many candles should be used here? How many candles? Should I even, should you be breaking an elemental crystal in this ritual? Why can't it be something like this? It would still fit, like everything's evenly spaced, so you could do this like basically in the middle of your field, right? Like you would have to have four, well, technically that would be empty, right? So you would have to knock out 4 plants in the center, but it would affect all the other plants to grow. Maybe that should be the ritual. That right there. Bum 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 bum. Yeah. I like that a little better. I like that better than the crystal. Kind of frees up the crystal. So maybe, yeah, you know what? That's gonna be it right there. That's gonna be it. So far it looks, yeah, 4 4 4. Well, 8. So then with those patterns being the case here, does this still feel like it's not gonna be super hard to get, right? Because ideally you should not be chain producing these kind of rituals as a tier 1 mage, right? Tier 1, you should, you know, you are still bringing up your farm, getting the hang of mana, right? Getting the hang of spell casting, getting your wands, right? Like you're a little fledgling, you know. So something like this is for like maybe the mage who's a little better off, right? Who's like, oh yeah, we need some, you know, you're role playing, right? And your blacksmith needs some charcoal. Sure, you could dig a bunch of pits, or, you know, if the hunter wants to give me some fat, I just got a nice yield. Let me just take some firewood, and I could just instantly burn that down for you, right? And convert it. You know, this right here is what tier 1 mages probably should be using, this ritual here, right? Put it right in the middle of your field and double the growth rate of all of your, you know, your entire farm in that area. That's pretty damn good. Trying to find out what's the most goofiest I can do. What is the most goofiest I can do with the mod? Sacrifice, yeah, sacrifice a moose. That's it. That's it. I kind of feel like this ritual may be too cheap. Like the ritual of Orebringer. That one may be a little too cheap. Ah, there we go. Just keep throwing candles at it. So I think that's pretty good. So let me, you know, let me talk about what I'm gonna be making a post of here. I kicked this around in the alpha chat for this mod, and I got some good feedback, but I didn't get a lot of people weighing in on it, which is the problem. So let me copy this. Let me copy this here. Copy all this out. Let's pop it into here. Okay. So this is kind of what I'm looking at here. It's going to be a restructuring of the game. So, or of my mod. So tier 1 systems, you will interact with the rifts, right? And then you'll get your rift bloom seeds and your small rust crystals like usual, right? So it's the introduction of using the rust, right? And then you have your Thaumic Workbench crafting, which it's not that big of a deal, but it's still something new to get used to, right? You have your dedicated workbench. You would create your wands, right? You would create your, you know, your ritual system, like all this stuff. You would have access to it. A basic set of mage armor. And basically that right there is one scenario where that's all you get for tier 1. Maybe essence generators, maybe. I'll put question mark there. All right? Question mark, maybe. But starting off, getting 50 mana, I can expand the wands, right? I can make more like a variation of the wands, right? But basically, the idea is tier 1, you're a primitive mage, you have low mana cost wands, you have some basic rituals. The basic rituals, mind you, open up like all these rituals here, so you could start converting items where you need. You know, you're getting your farms online. You know, you got a couple things here to like maybe help with digging and whatnot, right? You know, but this is basically your toolkit in the beginning. Now, the essence generator, I could pipe it in, right? I could pipe that in. But I would want something to go with it, right? But again, right? Like that's a maybe. And then of course, you know, you're not inundated with systems in the beginning. You're still feeling like a mage, but you know, your armor, it's leather based. You know what I mean? Like you're not that great. You're using wands, and you get to a point where, you know, and this is the other part too. I can change the curve of the experience that you need per mage tier, per boundary. So I can scale it to where, you know, instead of needing like crazy amounts of experience and your wands are trickle charging your maximum, I can just change a couple numbers and I can set it to where like it feels like you're still making progress with just the wands. That's easily done. Right? And then you're gonna end up killing the summon boss, right, from that summon ritual, and then you get the item that drops from it to be able to get to tier 2. That's in the perfect world, right? And now tier 2, that would open up essence generators, right? That would open up your Spellforge system, and then like the cipher creation that goes with it. You'll build your Oculus, right? And all this stuff requires that at the essence generators as the heartbeat, right? You'll be linking the essence generator to your Thaumic Workbench crafting, and now, you know, it's like an expansion on what it meant to be a mage, right? And then, you know, your tier 2, like the grimoires creation, the staff, right? Spell duplication would come in because you use that, you know, with your spells. But basically, it's just like siphoning this stuff off. And what that means, because a lot of my feedback that I get is like, I'm just about tier 2 and I made my first grimoire. That makes sense, right? Like, it takes a lot to get all of these other systems up and running. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it is about tier 2 until you get that stuff going. So why not just make it to where that's your tier 2 reward? So then, you know, and again, right, I have the ideas here, right? You take your next step, you become a more advanced mage, your rituals become more powerful because now you create the mana torches, and it's the same thing. You're already used to the blueprints. Now you're just changing out your mana torches for more powerful ones to magnify your effect, right? So this right here, instead of just getting charcoal, right, I can use the dark mana torches and then just jump right to black coal, which is, you know, it's a better coal. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the ritual here, yeah, with those neutral torches, right, you could pull things up from deeper. So you feel the power increase from your rituals. You know, a rift manipulation, right? Because now, instead of like where you were in the beginning, where you're just interacting with the rifts and they're static rifts and they are where they are, Now, all of a sudden, you have that item, right? And you can start getting rift charges, which is going to be another component as a mage, right? You get your Rift Weaver, so you can start opening up a rift easier wherever you want. It doesn't, then the Rift Weaver doesn't make this ritual obsolete. It makes this ritual a fuel source now, because now I can spawn rituals on command and then, you know, close them out, right? And then get the rift charge that I can then use to go like underground to be able to get the better crystals. You know, like the grimoires, you know, like you're never gonna really want to abandon the wands, because those are gonna be super duper like light on the magic. You know what I mean? Like it's like you would primarily probably do a lot of stuff through the staff, but for transmutation and stuff, probably still want to have a wand or two around for that throwaway transmutation. But you know, like it just you know, it feels better. That means though I'm gonna have to do a squish on the grimoires, right? So you would basically have like your wand that's like the wand of lesser fireball, or maybe I'll just call it the wand of fireball 1 or something, and then you'll have like your grimoire, right, which is just fireball 1. And then for the tier 3 version would be like Fireball 2, which would be an enhanced version. And by doing it like that and having less steps, each spell is going to feel like a bigger milestone, right? So if you have Fireball... Where's the wand? Here we go. Nope. There it is, right? So this does 4 damage, right? It's a wand spell. It's only 3 mana. It does 4 points of damage. Even if you're a tier 2 mage, if you're just like on the surface and you don't want to go full explosion, you can hunt with a wand like this. You know what I mean? Like it's 3 mana in a pool of like 100 mana. You know how many times you could cast that spell? It becomes a throwaway kind of thing. You know, but the steps would be like 4 damage, and then the first grimoire you get, right, that would be 10 damage instead of 6, right? So it's going to feel more impactful. And then the last one, right, where it's like, you know, the tier 3 version would be the final, right? That would just be tier 2, and then that would be 18 points of damage, right? So each one, it's a substantial power increase, right? So that tier 2 mage, yeah, that spell's going to cost, you know, like 24 mana, but it's going to do 10 points of damage per hit now. You know, so the scaling's going to feel better doing something like this. Yes, the wands would still have a use. Super easy to throw magic around. The rift interactions, I went over that. And then at the end of your tier 2, that's when you'll be summoning like the tier 2 boss, whatever that's going to be, to get the drop again to go to tier 3. And then tier 3, it's going to be the new summoning magic tool, right? So just like you unlocked wands, just like you unlocked the staff, now it's going to be whatever the summoning tool is going to be, right? And I think I've fleshed that out a little bit. It's going to be a point-based system that also uses your mana, and it will allow you to create either golems, or maybe it'll be undead, I'm not sure. But you'll be able to allocate your points into different minions, right? And then you'll have like your Moonwell, Sunwell, Aetherwell, which is going to be whatever that advanced system is that I was talking about before. That's when Elemental Attunement will come in tier 3. And maybe that will be more, not really something where it's like, oh, I equip it like it's an item, but more of like a choice of like, I'm binding to this element and I'm gonna get more, you know, it's the Elemental Attunement system, but it's gonna be more of a choice that to undo it, it's gonna be more than just, you know, removing an item. The potential enchantment system for like non-magic armor and items, I like the idea of having some spells be embedded in items. So for instance, if you have Unending Breath, right? The spell Unending Breath. Maybe you can imbue that effect, the Unending Breath effect, into a necklace. So you could give that to a player who's maybe not a mage, and then they would have underwater breathing while that necklace was on them. You know, things like that. And then, of course, tier 3, right? Your grimoires become more powerful. Your rituals become, you know, as powerful as they can get. So stepping through this new way, I'm kind of trickling, you know, like I'm giving you a bunch of things to play with, and then each upgrade's gonna feel new, and then you'll have expansions on those old systems as well. So that's the whole spiel. That's what I'm kicking around right now. You know, with like a one last restructuring to fit all the pieces where it would make sense. Oh, I guess you know, gateways would be in here too, right? The gateway system. Gateways. Tier 1 mage should be someone who's experimenting with how magic even works, rituals, wands, but essence generation sounds pretty advanced for that kind of skill. Yeah. I like making the wand version of spells. I like making the wand version of spells called lesser. Yeah, I like that too. The Angry Fiend, the Angry Friend, not Fiend. Sorry about that. To put in D&D terms, cantrips for an apprentice mage are good magic, but when you're level 15, a cantrip is your bread and butter, sort of like that. Well, maybe. I mean, you would want to, like, it kind of depends on what you're doing. The staff would have a lot more buffs and stuff that wands just can't touch, right? Like the run speed, Mark of the Zephyr, you know, Soaring Leap, Temperance, the barriers. Like, that's going to be more advanced magic. Your wands are going to be primitive, really low cost spells though. And I don't mind making some wands do some stuff that, you know, that I have grimoires for as well. You know, so what? Something like, what's a good example? Like, I got some buffs here. I think the buffs would get tuned a little higher for the wands. Like, they would have a 10-minute duration instead of the 5-minute that they have now. But it's going to be a weakened form, right? But having a bigger gap will allow me to make each thing kind of the potency. You know, a raising tide raises all ships, right? That kind of thing. Maybe that makes spells increase in damage, area of effect, and mana cost. Maybe even cast time. Double each upgrade for like 3 damage to 6 to 12 would make it so that you wouldn't spam higher tier spells on weaker creatures and actually use a, well, see, so that's the thing though, right? So 3 damage to 6 to 12, but that's like, it would have to be, see, the problem is the base game as well. What are the things you're really protecting yourselves from? Mostly it's going to be surface drifters, or like the tainted drifters, right? The step up from the surface drifters. And what are you looking at? 12 to 15, 16 hit points total? You know what I mean? Like the wolf, what is that, 15 hit points? You know, like everything that would attack you has an attack power of tier 2 already. And they all basically have the same health, you know? Like it's all the same. So how do you scale against something like that, right? Like, how do you scale against it? Yeah, these tier ideas are really dope, by the way. Very nice design. The problem with this idea is that you have to go home and swap out the grimoires or reduce your available spells by putting multiple tiers of the same grimoire in the sanctum. Well, what do you... Oh, wait, there was more there. Oh, were you talking about Crickerlope? Were you talking about putting like multiple, like 2 tier 2 or 2 fireball grimoires in to make your spell a tier 2 spell? Was that it? From what I'm reading from Asterbrook here. Yeah, because I can tell you this, probably not gonna do that. Probably, because thinking of it, like, yeah, I could see the kind of build up there, but yeah, I don't know. That would be annoying too, because then I'd have to like check each slot, right? and then have like whatever the spell is, and then magnify the spell based on how many versions of that spell are in there. If you lose, he means if you use a lower, cheaper fireball on a weaker creature, you have to have both on the staff together. I still don't get it. I still don't. You know, it could be me. It could be me. It's been a long day. In less than 24 minutes, I'm gonna be hopping back to work to start working the night through. Pulled in 4 chats, Discord the stream, a game I was playing, all over the place. I get it, man. I get it. So general feels. What does a mod like this, right, with this structure feel as opposed to the way it is now, which is basically most systems are just like tier 1, right? Like that would also mean that this would change as well. Maybe I make bigger tabs on the side here and it could be like tier 1, right? And then it'll have all the unlocks for just tier 1 stuff, which isn't going to be that much, right? It's going to be more like, you know, the rituals, the wands, you getting some Unga Bunga mage gear. Oh yeah, and that's the other part too, right? So I had mage gear here. So for this, right, it would be advanced mage gear. It would take Essence Ash of, I would say generic, right? And then this would be more like mage feeling. And then for tier 3, part of the whole attunement thing, and actually this is another thing that I had brainstormed that I'm glad I remembered. Maybe elemental attunement is based on your mage armor, right? Because for tier 3, maybe I can have it to where you need to make like dark mage robes or light mage robes or neutral mage robes, and then by wearing all 3 you get the set bonus, which gives you attunement, right? That's another way that I could pursue elemental attunement as well. Again, it is going to be, I don't think it's going to be, this is going to be probably the biggest overhaul here. Just updating the guidebook. But I think overall, this could be a better feeling system. I just got to figure out what the summoning item's going to be. If it can't be a staff, it's gotta be something else. It'll be an orb. I don't know what it'll be. It'll be some kind of item. Thing is, 2 different tiers, the same spell occupy 2 different slots in the sanctum. So you're talking about like tier 1 fireball and tier 2 fireball being in the sanctum at the same time? This new system would feel much better in my opinion. That's good. We got 1 thumbs up. We got 1. And some of the stuff too will get simplified with this new system, right? Let's look at Essence Ash. Let's literally look at Essence Ash. Oh, come on. There we go. Right? We have 9 different versions of Essence Ash. Okay? Well, get rid of tier 1 right off the bat, so get rid of 3 of those because you're not going to make essence-based things until tier 2, right? And then maybe for tier 2, you know, like you basically have 1 type of ash. Maybe that's what that is. You just burn that ash into like Arcanus ash, or you know, some new single-use ash, right? And then tier 3 with the attunements, that would be maybe your neutral, light, and dark ash from burning that whatever ash, right? Ban evader, ban your ass again, boom. You know, so I'm limiting the footprint of the amount of resources that are clearly redundant, right? That you don't need a lot of. Like, why do I have, like, Glimmering Compound, Seer's Compound? You know, is there a better way to go about that? Right? Because if I restructure the Essence Ash, then what are you... You know what I mean? Like, maybe I could still keep those. And then just have it to where, like, yeah, you... Well, I guess the runic, or the rustic compound really wouldn't burn into anything. Or maybe it would. Maybe there only needs to be one kind of compound. And then basically you would burn that compound, right? And then maybe you would reprocess that ash that comes out of it, like magic ash or whatever I call it, the tier 2 ash. And then to make it tier 3, then it actually cares about whatever's connected to it, right? So to get dark ash, it would have to be burned through dark. Right? You know, the Devouring Void. Maybe that would be a better way to do that too. Why not make the summoning not a tool, but something like a ritual? Well, so to get into summoning a little bit more, it is going to be a ritual. It's the way I'm thinking about it, it's going to be a ritual where the elemental crystals you put down will dictate something about the core, and then that core you would give it form, and depending on that core stats, your creature would be so powerful, right? But to put like really good stuff into that core, maybe there's like, you know, the 10-point system or whatever. But yeah, rituals will be a part of it. It definitely will be a part of it. But, yeah. I think those questions are going to be answered more when we have something playable, right? Like some kind of summoning system, minion system playable. So anyone else? What are we thinking? Yay, nay? It's okay if it's no. Like if people like the current system, it's not necessarily bad. You know, it gets the job done. It's what everyone's playing with right now. And it's not going to be in the next update, right? The next update is going to be ritual based. I'm going to make these changes to the rituals. Napping's going to look a lot nicer here. All right, we pop that out. Like, see, look at that. So much better. We don't have triplicates of everything. Just a one sigil rules them all. I think having the Eldrathrium sigil, that's gonna save a lot. For the runes, I mean, you already have the Temporal Chalk already. A summoning circle so dope, yeah, right? Yeah, I can't wait for the summoning. I think it's gonna be fun. I have to figure out the whole devastation thing. I need to find a way to like admin into it to see how it works, because I would like to transport you to another temporary world and have it set up in the theme of the boss monster and maybe the element it is. Because I liked in Final Fantasy XI when you were a summoner, like you had to like use that item, right? You teleport it into, you know, the elemental, and you run up the path. Or I remember like Titan, right? And Titan's sitting there, and you go gung ho on Titan, right? But you like go into that realm, and that's what I would want to do. And the best part is, I could make some boss mechanics where it like destroys terrain and stuff without destroying your world, because once that summon's done, I could just wipe out that world. Easy. So, yeah, summoning's going to be cool. I think the spells, too, the more complex spells, are going to be fun as well. Like, putting down your Ritual of Grace which is this one, right? You'd put down your Ritual of Grace and you're drawing out this complex thing and all your friends crowd around it. And then you could just mass heal, you know, like all the people like in your area. Oh, snap. Oh. Help. The Ritual of Grace, I think, is going to be coming with this next update. It's going to be along with the Ritual of Warding. The boss arena, yeah, that'd be epic. Yeah. Seems a bit easier to understand going in as a new mod player. Gives you a chance to understand it better, and having to make an essence generator or not really understanding what it's for. Then it just sits there, yeah, in the way. Because it's too expensive to move as a tier 1. Yeah, yeah. And you know the thing, the other part is too, I mean, because that's the biggest, that right there is the biggest feedback I got, because there are people who want to be able to make it as soon as they can because, you know, they want to get ahead of like the cost of things. Maybe I make it to where, you know, I could always do something where if you know how to do it, maybe you could just make, you know, make the essence generators, right at tier 1, because technically it is a ritual. You won't be able to do anything with it until you're really tier 2, unless I make it to where gateways, right? The gateway system. Should a tier 1 mage be able to make gateways? Right? Like there are some questions that need to be answered here. And one thing I also said too is like, well, think of it this way: if the essence system comes in at tier 1, then, or if it comes in at tier 2, then all of your essence costs go down, right? It's not like the essence costs are going to be the same as they are right now. They would be lower, right, to scale with the fact that you are just now creating, you know, the essence generators. If I take it that way, right? I could also take it the other way and say, okay, well, maybe essence generators are something that any tier mage could make at any time, which would lock it into tier 1. But maybe, you know, maybe the idea here would be, well, let me think of a system, like a reason why a tier 1 mage would want to use it, right? Like, does it power, like for a while, I wanted to put an item in that would link up to an essence generator, and then if you went over to it, like it would be like a rug kind of thing, you know, block you stand on. And if you meditate on it, it actually would not consume your temporal stability, and instead would consume the essence from the essence generator that it's linked to. You know, something like that, where it's like forcing you to kind of have your, you know, like you would want it like close, but not super close. You know, you'd want to restrain it, you know, restrain like simmer down the rust sickness by encasing it in runes. But, you know, that right there would be more than enough reason for a tier 1 mage to want to use an essence generator without having it pair to all the other stuff, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions to answer still. But again, I think this is going to be a post in the main Discord, and I'm gonna try and keep it on track, right? Like just discussion for that, you know, no sidetracking and being like, hey, I have another feature idea that's unrelated. You know, like I'll be policing it, because I gotta know for sure. It's gonna be a lot of work. I think on the surface, it looks like it's going to be a solid system. You know, even if essence generation, right? Even if this is still in tier 1, it's at least a handful of things. You know what I mean? Like it's a minimal amount of things. You know, so I could do something. I was just thinking, one thing that you could do with the essence generators is create elemental crystals, right? So maybe there's something where you need a certain type of elemental crystal for something as a tier 1 mage, right? Like maybe, because, I mean, already, right, some of your wands and stuff will require a specific element. But maybe there's something out there where you could do something with those crystals as a tier 1 mage to, like, help boost you. Probably boost your mana? I don't know. I don't know. Could be maybe something like a ritual. Maybe they're used in a component for something. Maybe I redo the Chalix. And I make it to where it's crystal based. I don't know. Yeah, problem with people wanting to rush. Oh wait, seems a bit easier. Okay, the problem with people wanting to rush essence generation as early as possible, even in tier 1. I don't think the answer to it would be making new mechanics in tier 1 using essence, since people would still be interested in rushing it for tier 2. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I can't base everything off of the people who want to rush things. You know, like, really, it's like if the feedback is that the essence costs are too much, right, for creating grimoires or whatever it is, then I have to know to lower those costs. Or people can go into the configs. I'm pretty sure I have configs to, like, lower the cost of, like, the grimoires, the amount of essence it takes. You know? Like, I think it's a good idea to give more magic-y things to do from a system, right? The essence system's pretty robust. It works a lot better now. You know, it's like, might as well run with it. Yeah, and Hexalin, right? Yeah, it takes forever to recharge the mana bar, and you're at 35 nat. Yeah, just the regular mana. Yeah. One big boost up for you, Hexalin, would be getting Mage Armor. Mage Armor, the chest piece, I believe, it gives you mana regen. So instead of getting 1 MP per tick, you get 2. So that doubles how much you get per, you know, per your stability. Which helps you, again, bridge that gap, right? But I think coming up with some other way, maybe I would like to come up with some way of doing something clever using elemental crystals. Something that a mage would find valuable. No matter. Oh, and another thing, Hexalin, too, is in the beginning it's going to be a little harder, but there is Riftbloom Tea, which gives you a really good mana regen buff for like 2 minutes for taking a sip of it. But again, right, if you're a tier 1 mage, that may be a little too steep to take on. But yeah. All right. So if people can think about that and have something put on my desk by the morning, a full report, that would be fantastic. But yeah, all right. Let's find someone to raid, because I got like 6 minutes here. I'm doing good today. Doing good. I guess the trick to getting off on time is to always have some kind of work thing to do. I did see the tea, just haven't had the extra ingredients. I'll look into the mage armor. Literally just realized I can make ash. Yeah. See, that's the thing. With this change, the mage armor that you would be making would not require essence ash. But feels about the same. Well, I missed something there. I can't see what it is. Must have been a while ago. Oh, Dur, you came back just in time for the raid. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? We can raid NASA. Science and technology. Who's playing Vintage Story? Who is playing Vintage Story? Anyone got any streamer they want to watch? I've been busy. Yeah. Hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully it's not bad busy. I appreciate the lurk. You just want to hear this voice, don't you? Odor. Let's see. Yeah, raid NASA with a bunch of twitchy mages. This sounds like blasphemy. This isn't magic. Where are all the wands and the spells? Yes, the voice. Suck. See ya, man. Love the mini streams. Yeah, I enjoy doing them. It's fun, you know, showing off some of the stuff and getting feedback while I'm trying to pencil in, right? Like the mage candle, you know, like how they should work. You know, having a sounding board, it helps out a lot, because I'd rather do the work once than have to sit there for like 3 updates tweaking it and changing it, because that's what causes confusion. How dare you think rust is bad, right? I don't see a lot of rust in space there. Heading over to Trongli Keking, he's a new player. Let's see here. See if they are in the list. You know what? Let's raid them. Do it. Percuss is playing. I have raided Percuss the past like 4 raids. We're gonna raid this guy. This guy. Someone new. Boop. And I totally had to copy and paste that name. I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to get it right. We'd end up somewhere completely different. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Again, look out on Discord. It may be soon. Depends on what I have to do for work here. I mean, it's just adding stuff in BGP. Ideally, there shouldn't be anything crazy. Just injecting a route. we will see. We shall see. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. I was thinking about it. I may actually stream again tonight. Normally I don't. I got a lot of sleep last night, like solid sleep. I'm feeling pretty good now. As long as this work thing doesn't extend to like really late, it's about 5 p.m. for me right now. It will probably be about 7:30 to 8 my time. So maybe 2.5 to 3 hours. Probably stream again. That, or maybe I'll just chat on Discord. I'll see what people are doing. I may actually play a game. Instructions unclear. Submitted new mod concept. Wait, what? Missed the end of that. Oh no, the raid's coming. The raid is coming up. Send to Discord. All right, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.